Romancing Saga 2 is really good. Having just finished the game, I can tell you, I really enjoyed it. From my personal experience, it's more of a gameplay-focused JRPG than the story one, though the story that is there is very good and builds up slowly over time as you explore more regions and find out more about what happened to the 7 heroes that are in the title. And that's probably the most interesting thing. This game's story has kind of already taken place, and you are just completing the final act of the story. It's just that the final act of the story is, 40 hours long. Because everything that's important to the plots, the 7 heroes and why they want revenge and what happened to them, well, that has in fact already happened. And you're just going to find out about it as you go around unifying the continent under the great Avalon Empire. And then, in fact, I don't think the Avalonian Empire, but the capital's Avalon, I'm pretty sure that's right. But, and then, well, bringing it to a conclusion by finally laying the 7 heroes to rest in a grand finale. I haven't done the post-game yet, so I can't tell you if there's anything funky going on there, but the main game, really good. It's really fun. As I said, the gameplay is probably the highlight for me. The techs and spells and glimmers, which is how you get better abilities, is really fun. It's really satisfying. Getting a glimmer is really satisfying. It's really frustrating when you got a skill that's like, oh, I'm really close to glimmering, and then you don't fucking glimmer it for like 7 attacks. But then when you get the attack that does glimmer it and you get that new ability and see the new animation, it's really good. Like, it's really, really cool. Right? So it's a really satisfying game to play from just that. At about the midpoint, the gameplay starts to feel a bit repetitive, but then as soon as you go past the midpoint into the late game and you have loads more options, then it stopped being repetitive again. There's a small period of time where the gameplay felt stale, but then it very quickly became rejuvenated again. At least from my experience. That's just how it felt when I was playing through the game. You might have a different experience if you've played it or plan to play it. I'd recommend it. It's really good. If you find it on sale, pick it up. If you don't and you just think it's worth the full price, I think it is, go right ahead, do it. It's a really, really good game. I have no idea if any of the other Romancing Saga games are like it. But if they are, well, I might end up picking another one up at some point. Someone will have to let me know in the comments if the Romancing Saga games follow this similar formula, or if they are, kind of in the same vein as Final Fantasy, where each game is quite different to the previous one with just similar premises and a handful of similar mechanics. But the game's really good. I really enjoyed it. There's not really a whole lot I can say about the plot, because, well, I don't want to spoil it. Because it is really good, despite it being, in my opinion, a smaller part of the game. But it's really, really solid. So, and the gameplay, well, you'll experience that yourself. I shouldn't need to. It's just a turn-based RPG. A really, really solid turn-based RPG with its own unique flares and mechanics. The formation system that you have is really, really good. Obviously, there's some formations that are infinitely better than others, like the one you get from the Corsair that means you always go first in combat, and that's basically the one I used all game. As soon as I got it, and never switched to another formation at any point ever. So maybe the formation's better than that, but I found that one really fucking broken. Because you just steamroll normal encounters before they get to do anything, and, well, if a boss is weak to status effects, well, you steamroll the boss before they get to do anything. It's a very, very abusable game, and I very, very much enjoy that. I love it when a JRPG lets me break it. That's why I enjoy Bravely Default, and why I enjoy the Trail series as well. But wait. Oh yes, talking more about gameplay. In fact, I guess we should talk about the main mechanic of this game, shall we? The inheritance system. So this game takes place across, well, a certain amount of generations. I think I went through 9 emperors in total. I probably could have done more. I didn't abdicate enough, I don't think. I think every generation you really should abdicate once, just so you can get more formations, right? Because you get a formation when you get a new emperor. When you pass on the emperor's abilities to the next one, you get new formations. And I didn't really take advantage of that to the fullest. And also by doing this, you're going to get more abilities unlocked and then mastered, so you can spec out your characters even better. So I didn't take the full advantage of the inheritance system. Right? I'm being entirely honest with you. I'd only gone through about 8 or 9 emperors by the end of the game. And that includes the final one. So I definitely did not take advantage of the game's core mechanic to its fullest. And I'll admit that, openly. But even still, this mechanic is really cool. I really like it. And as you see time go on, you see the world around you change. One location in particular you encounter really early on, that maybe what triggers your first generation skip. It's really cool seeing this, what replaces that, what was dungeon, turn into a fully fledged settlement. It's really cool seeing that develop over time. I've really, really enjoyed that. And that was really cool to see happen in effectively real time. You know, as you go through the generations, this place building up and becoming, you know, this old abandoned fortress, and then, you know, it's been torn down. They're starting to build, you know, the framework for a village is put in, and it gets a bit more, and then finally it's fully complete, and then you can expand it even further. It's really good stuff. I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed that. Really, really cool. And you can then eventually put a bridge there as well, which is, again, it's really cool to see this happen, like, over the generations as you change Emperor. The world actually changes with you. It's really, really cool. And probably the most important thing, this game's story, your choices matter. The bit of story you actually are directly in control of and hasn't already happened that you learn about through the memories of the Seven, your choices matter. Like for me, there's an island you can have the control of the fate of, whether it gets destroyed or not. I'll let you be the judge of what I ended up letting happen. But I wasn't going to say no to the reward that I got afterward, because that kind of interested me more. I did do a little bit of research onto the game and knew that this decision had this kind of impact. And so you could say I kind of spoiled myself on it and didn't go in truly blind, but that was basically the only thing I knew about this game before going in. Is this decision locks you out of one of these two things. And so, choose wisely. Choose what you want, or which you think is morally less reprehensible. I chose the morally reprehensible option because I like the reward a bit more. God. But there are plenty of other choices that matter as well. And there's plenty of things you can lock yourself out of as well if you do certain quests in certain ways. Like one of the fusion spells I don't have access to because of the way I handled one of the quests. And it's the only fusion spell I didn't get, and it's really annoying because I wanted to get all of them. But hey, we'll have to save that for a future playthrough. But honestly, this game's really, really good. I highly recommend it to anyone that enjoys JRPGs, especially turn-based ones. Obviously, if you're not a big turn-based RPG enjoyer, which I don't get, why don't you like turn-based games? They're just as good as action games. Play them, just try it. Then it's probably not going to be for you. But if you enjoy your turn-based strategies, turn-based games, and you enjoy stories where your actions matter, well, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a really great time with this game. It's really, really solid. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Without the way, leave a like, comment, sub, notification bell, trying to hit 1,000 subs for the end of the year. So if you give me a solid and help me achieve that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Without the way, I would also you've been you, and it's for now.